Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling Sacramento. Buying the block back. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling Sacramento. Buying the block back. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling Sacramento. Buying the block back. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling slack. Selling slack, selling Sacramento. Buying the block back.
Agent Key, yeah, selling Sacramento. She selling Sacramento. Agent Key, she selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent Key, yeah, selling Sacramento. She selling.
Okay.
2. Here we go.
Hey everyone, it is Wednesday and you are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key and we are Selling Sacramento. Just a reminder, Selling Sacramento is brought to you by Matthews & Company Realty Group. I am Key Matthews, the broker and owner with over 20 years. I keep saying almost, it is over 20 years, almost 21 years in the industry. And I love helping you buy, sell, and retain real estate. So if you have a home to sell, if you're ready to have the conversation, just map out a plan towards home ownership. Yes, even in this very strange market, visit agentkey.com, agentkee.com, and schedule your free consultation right there on my website. There you can email me, chat with me, set up a new buyer consultation, or just start the process of selling your home if you have a home that you need to get sold. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Just search Selling Sacramento Agent Key on your favorite platform and join the conversation. Let me know that you're there by typing in the chat and saying, hey, our show today, the experts have forecast the future of home prices. I want to share that information with you today straight from an article And before we get started with that, as we navigate the currents of our lives, right, from the joyous occasions like marriages to the more challenging ones like job losses and divorce, our living situations often shift concurrently with those challenges. And it's during those times that understanding the local real estate landscape becomes not just beneficial, but essential. I've often told you that real estate, we get that news and we get it on a national level, but real estate is local. So while national headlines can give us a broad stroke of the economy, it's the local data that paints the picture where we live. Real estate is, after all, a profoundly local affair. I've told you before, you go to neighborhoods like Oak Park, and now we have North Oak Park and South Oak Park, 2 different price points. So the decisions that we make, whether it's buying your home, buying your first home, scaling down for retirement, or acquiring that investment property, those should be informed by what's happening right here. If you're in Sacramento, right here in Sacramento County. If you're in San Joaquin County, if you're in Stockton, you should be informed with Stockton data. If you're in the Bay Area, you need to be informed with the Bay Area data, and so on and so forth. If you're in SoCal, you cannot be informed about the decisions you need to make in Southern California based on Northern California real estate data. So today we are going to delve into the heart of our local real estate market here. And we're going to start with a detailed analysis of the Sacramento County's September housing stats. If you recall, I told you that those stats come in, they come in for the month prior of that same month, around the middle of the month. So we will be getting stats for the month of October in about another 15 days. And these stats come from the Sacramento Association of Realtors. So are home sales cooling off as we embrace this autumn chill? How's the inventory holding up? And most importantly, what does this mean for you? We're also going to dissect during our show today the article that I mentioned called When Will Home Prices Drop? Here's what 6 economists say. And we're going to discuss that to understand the broader economic forces at play and how they might ripple into our Sacramento streets. And lastly, we're going to synthesize all of this information to make the most informed and personal decisions in your real estate journey among all of the possible inevitable changes that you might be going through. So grab a notepad and let's dive right into these numbers. The Sacramento County September housing update. In September, Sacramento County showed us the usual seasonal slowdown in the housing market, but with a few twists. So let's break it down. The sales volume seems to be taking a breather. This September, the number of homes sold in Sacramento County took a step back. Sales were down by 10.1% from August and even more so compared to last year. Financing is still varied, with most people opting for conventional loans, but we're also seeing a good chunk of cash buyers and FHA loans in the mix. So that's good. Yay, FHA. Sales price is holding steady. So despite the fact that we have fewer homes selling, sales prices didn't dip. As a matter of fact, for the month of September, the median sales price nudged up a bit from $535,000 to $545,000. That's the median sales price in Sacramento County, which is also higher than this time last year. So this means that half of the homes that sold for more than this price and half for less. Inventory. With inventory, there's a little bit of give and take. September brought in a few more homes for sale compared to August, but we're still way below the number of homes on the market last year. There's enough inventory to last about 1.6 months at the current pace of sales, almost 2 months worth of inventory. That's a little longer than last month, but not by much. And then days on market. houses in September were moving really quickly. They were selling fast. On average, homes stayed on the market for just 10 days. And that's pretty quick compared to 19 days from last September of last year. Most homes sold in less than a month, showing that there is still plenty of interest from buyers. In a nutshell, as we step into fall, the Sacramento housing market is taking its usual seasonal dip. Nothing but, while I should say, holding on to prices very strongly. There's a little more inventory than last month, but homes are still selling quickly. The cost per square foot even ticked up a bit. So it's a market that's keeping us on our toes. It's shifting. Every day it seems like there's something new. It's unpredictable in a nutshell. We're delving into how the local real estate trends impact your personal journey. And I want to share, now that I see I have a little bit of time, a lender partner of mine sent me an article that I want to share with you before we get into the other stats. Hey, Ms. Emma Ty, I see you, lady. How are you? I want to share this article with you from Bankrate entitled, How Did COVID Affect the Housing Market? Y'all remember COVID? Remember what happened in the housing market? The article that I'm going to share with you later, the stats from the 6 economists, or the forecast from the 6 economists, there are going to be some nuggets in there that I hope will be aha moments for all of us. This article, I'm hoping, also is going to probably point to that or add to the information that the economists will be sharing in this article that I'm going to share later. So let me dive into this article. The coronavirus pandemic had profound impacts on the housing market. The initial lull in home sales at the very start of the pandemic quickly turned into a white-hot seller's market. And the rise of remote work meant that many former city dwellers suddenly found themselves searching for more space in less urban, lower-cost areas. Remember, employers were saying you could work from home. Both at the beginning of COVID and now, buyers are looking for a bit of extra room in a home, said Kimberly J., who is a broker with Compass in New York City. In addition, house flipping and residential real estate investing rose drastically. Real estate analysts or real estate analytics firm CoreLogic reported that investors accounted for more than a quarter of all single-family home purchases, 26% investors in June 2023. In March 2020, when the pandemic began, that figure was below 15%. So they were trying to cash in on the rush. Now that the pandemic is no longer a part of daily life the way it once was, which of these changes are here to stay? So we're going to read on and find the ways that COVID affected real estate, and it's still impacting. At the very beginning of the pandemic, housing sales and new construction initially stalled in the face of economic uncertainty. But as things stabilized, home values picked up. And today, data from the National Association of Realtors shows that the median home price in the U.S. shot up remarkably. Back then, record low interest rates, families feeling cramped from the quarantine, all of those things worsened the housing shortage supply and created this extraordinarily hot market. The houses were under contract for over asking price within hours of hitting the market. You all remember, I remember. Investment firms started buying up houses, stock, just tons of houses for cash. And desperate buyers started waiving inspections and contingencies. Felt like it was yesterday, but it's actually been a few years. But over time, as inflation raged and the Fed Reserve persistently raised interest rates in an effort to tame it, mortgage rates rose and rose and rose. And as of August 2023, as of August 23rd, 2023, Bankrate's national survey of large lenders shows that the average interest rate on a 30-year mortgage is well above 7%, the highest it's been since December of 2000. Homeowners who are locked into a low rate are hesitant to give that up, which means less inventory available for those who can still afford to buy. This will create a new normal affordability that reduces homeowners' buying power, while also leading to longer days on market lengths and lower volume of home sales overall. In other words, it's right out there for both buyers and sellers. And I want to pause right there because the other article that I'm going to reference deals with that specifically, the fact that we have a whole new group of homeowners, and it's a very large percentage. I'll tell you the percentage when we get to the article, who are locked into these low rates. And I believe the numbers were at least 2 points below the average. So you're in a rate that's either 2% or 3% or even 4%. You're not moving off of that. If they are predicting rates are not going to go down for another 2 or 3 years, and there's this large group of individuals who have these rates that they're sitting on, and they're not moving until the rate, they can't move unless they must sell. It does not make economic sense for them to sell, to get into a higher paying mortgage. Not only is the rate going to be higher, the payment's going to be higher because the purchase price point will be higher. So that is a new normal now, where we're going to be sitting waiting on those folks. And what will happen the day that rates do go down? All of those folks going to pull the trigger at the same time. If it gets below 5% or 4%, we're going to see inventory flood onto the market. So this article is just pointing that out, that this is part of a new normal now, because that group of people who took advantage of that unicorn rate. So now we created that group of people. So how has COVID impacted home buying and selling? Virtual listings were already started, but with many taking social distancing recommendations seriously, virtual viewing and closings saw a mass during the pandemic housing market. New technologies were already speeding up, and more people adopted them, making closing faster. Automated writing improved. It have taken 3 weeks to get an appraisal back. Today, it takes about a week. So with these advancements, which make selling and buying more convenient, are they here to stay? They likely are. So while closings are being done in person now, many buyers and sellers are opting to not attend for convenience. How has COVID affected home sellers? The hot market motivated more people to sell, with many empty nesters accelerating their plans to sell at premium prices. I personally saw many people jumping ahead of their retirement dates and moving forward and pulling the trigger on the house before it got out of reach, and just sitting on the house and waiting on the retirement date to happen. In addition to market conditions, many sellers decided to sell as a result of working remotely. One pandemic era trend is not likely to stick around for home sellers, though. In the most frenzied market times, sellers often receive multiple offers with inspection contingencies waived. This left little incentive for them to fix up their homes before listing. Now that things have calmed down, buyers are far less likely to waive a home inspection, so sellers should be prepared for concession requests to cover any needed repairs. I'm going to stop right there. We're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to dive right into that information of the forecast of experts forecasting the future of home prices. You are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we will be right back. Boasting a spacious 1,823 square feet, stands proud and newly rejuvenated. Fresh exterior paint glistens in the California sun. Step inside to a world of contemporary elegance. The sleek water laminate flooring, freshly laid in 2022, guides you seamlessly through the downstairs space. The kitchen radiates luxury with pristine granite countertops. Retreat to the master suite where relaxation awaits. A lavish soaker tub promises evenings of deep tranquility. Located on a premium corner lot and and for those warm Sacramento days, step into luxury with not one, but two community pools. At 424 Gibraltar Street, luxury, location, and lifestyle converge in perfect harmony.
Agent Key, selling Sacramento.
A technical glitch happening here. Let me click over here. And there we are. Yay. All right. We're back. So we discussed the local how the future of home prices. So there's a little bit to unpack here, but it's very important that you hear and know the different professional opinions and advice and assessment, really for the purpose of understanding that no one really knows. So if we hear how the professional economists are attempting to predict, and they're not necessarily 100% predicting, but they're basing it on, so because of XYZ, here's what we're assuming, then you can understand that as you make decisions and choices for yourself personally, as it pertains to your situation, whether or not you're going to buy or sell, if you're planning to buy or sell, then you will be comfortable making that type of decision based on the information you have and assessing it in accordance with your situation. So, how do you take all of this information and use it? let's talk about what the information is. We're going to start with this article. When will home prices drop? Here is what 6 economists are saying. Economists are divided on whether home prices will go up or down for the rest of 2023. And according to this Market Watch article, they say that home prices and mortgage rates show few signs of falling at the end of October as low inventory spurs competition among home buyers. Home buying demand is also drying up as many aspiring homeowners have decided purchasing a home is simply unaffordable. Keep in mind, this article, as I'm reading it, it is a national article. So the information that is being conveyed in here is on a national level or from a national perspective, unless they state otherwise that they're talking about a specific region. So with that being said, the article continues saying the 30-year mortgage was averaging at 7.9% as of October 26, 2023. That was a handful of days ago. A home buyer buying a median priced home of roughly $400,000 today, median meaning the entire U.S., because we know that the median home price in Sac County is about $530,000, $540,000. But they're saying this median price home of roughly $400,000 today, if you are a home buyer buying that home, you now have to earn 50% more than you would have if you wanted to buy that same median price home at the start of the pandemic. Market Watch asked 6 economists for their take on whether home prices could fall, and if so, when. And here's what they said. Moody's Analytics, they're saying home prices will fall by 10%, peak to trough. Quoted as saying house prices nationwide are down 2 to 3% from their last summer peak, according to the Moody's Analytics report. Sales House Price Index. Mark Zandi, the company's chief economist, told Market Watch the 30-year mortgage may be currently nearing 8%, but it will likely average at 6.5% by the end of this year, Zandi said. And by 2024, he's predicting that it will fall to 5.5%. His forecast assumes that the U.S. economy will weaken and inflation will decelerate, but there will be no recession. Assuming no recession and the mortgage rate path that he just described, he expects national house prices to ultimately decline by almost 10% from the peak to trough, he continued, falling from a record set in 2022. This will likely take a couple more years to play out as potential sellers are reluctant to sell their homes for obvious reasons. Ultimately, falling prices are good news for home buyers, he said. These price declines are necessary to sufficiently restore housing affordability. So there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel. There's a view or a perspective of a bright light at the end of the tunnel. But let's continue and let's see what Goldman Sachs has to say. Goldman Sachs is saying home prices will fall for the rest of 2023. Wall Street bank Goldman Sachs expects home prices to fall for the rest of the year due to high mortgage rates and low inventory. While the sharpest declines in housing activity and prices are now long behind us, the recent jump in mortgage rates and the prospect that they are likely to remain elevated for the foreseeable future present headwinds to the economy's most interest rate sensitive sector. The Wall Street Bank's analysts wrote in an October 2020 note. The bank expects home prices to fall 0.8% through December 2023. But prices will have risen by 3.4% in 2023 as compared to the year before. And then in 2024, the bank expects home prices to grow only by 1.3% as supply remains tight, but high rates weigh on affordability. LPL Financial is saying there will be a modest decline in home prices by the end of the year. Kind of contradicting there, right? LPL Financial is saying Home prices will likely fall since demand is slowing. Jeffrey Roach, the chief economist at LPL Financial, told MarketWatch. But prices won't spiral downwards, even though demand is drying up due to how low inventory is. That's a major factor keeping prices from falling as much as they normally would in an economic slowdown, Roach said. An unintended consequence, here we go, of so many who refinanced to those historically low rates is that many have golden handcuffs, keeping them in their homes with no expectations to move. Inventory of existing homes will stay low for that reason. Nearly all borrowers who have a mortgage have a rate below the current level of 7.79%, according to Goldman Sachs. And here is the rate, the percentage. Almost 90% of homeowners have rates more than 2 basis points below the prevailing rate. That's almost everybody. That's a lot of folks. So they go on to say, so I see only a modest decline in home prices by the end of the year, as affordability will continue to be a challenge for would-be first-time buyers, Roach said. I'm leaning towards agreeing with them. LPL. CoreLogic goes on to say, let's see what CoreLogic is predicting. CoreLogic is predicting home prices may fall over the next few months. Like Goldman Sachs, CoreLogic's chief economist, Selma Hepp, also expects home prices to drop over the next few months, but to end 2023 up compared to last year. She says, while home prices may fall slightly over the next few months due to seasonality and surge in rates, CoreLogic does not forecast home prices to fall in 2023. She says the overall increase in home prices in 2023 compared to 2022 is expected at 3.7%. And she goes on to add that home prices have already increased 5% between January through August. Have also stressed that while she doesn't expect home prices to fall in 2023 as compared to 2022, there may be regional variations. And I am in agreement with her. Some states will continue to see annual declines, such as states like the states that are in the Mountain West, particularly Idaho and Utah, as their monthly changes continue to show declines. Even though mortgage rates hitting 8% will have an impact on home prices, she added, it's hard to assume that home prices will decline given the severe lack of home inventory for sale, which is also further constrained by rising rates, the lock-in effect. A comparable period to today, and I've heard this before earlier this week, would be to the 1980s when the U.S. Federal Reserve aggressively hiked interest rates. The 30-year mortgage rose to double digits, which impacted home sales. Yet home prices didn't post a decline until the early 1990s, and have reminded us that's when prices dipped only less than 1%. So next we have Realtor.com. What is Realtor.com saying about home prices next year? They are saying home prices will recover by the end of next year. So many different variations. Realtor.com's Danielle Hale had a different take. She told MarketWatch that she expects home prices to remain strong through the rest of the year. While many experts anticipated single price declines in 2023, the housing market has largely defied those expectations, Hale said, with home sales dipping, the prices dipping on a year-over-year basis for just 4 months this spring, and typical home asking prices falling for just 2 this summer. So even though we did not see a new peak for the existing home sale price this summer, late year momentum has the market on track to recover for the calendar year, she said. We currently expect home prices in 2023 to finish just ahead of the 2022 average. Part of the reason why she expects prices will stay elevated is due to the strength of the labor market. She says, I expect that over time, easing home prices or slowing price growth Rising incomes and falling mortgage rates will all help to bring the share of income that it takes to buy a home back to more historically typical levels. Comparing the 80s to today, Hale, like Hep, also noted that prices didn't drop, they just slowed during that period. She said from 1982 to 1984, annual price growth nationwide averaged 2 to 4%, when the average annual single family price growth had been in double-digit territory from 1977 to 1980. And finally, we have an assessment from the National Association of Realtors. They are saying home prices will inch up in 2023. Very similar to Hale at Realtor.com. Let's see what they have to say. The National Association of Realtors on Thursday released an updated and a more pessimistic forecast that home prices, a forecast on home prices for the rest of 2023 and 2024. The National Association of Realtors expects existing home sales to fall in 2023 to the lowest level since the Great Recession in 2008, but the median price of a home in the U.S. will rise 0.1%. In 2024, the entire group expects home prices to rise 0.7% to $389,500. So overall, all of these economists are expecting real estate prices to increase, not by much, dependent on rates, and it's still up in the air, and no one really knows. Now that we've gotten that off, I want to talk a little bit about something that occurred, and I just want to get it out there because it's already out there. And that is I'm not going to talk long about it at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read straight from a blog post that I wrote about it. And that's going to be it. That's all I'm going to say about it. Not going to comment, not going to take a side. But it is about the breaking verdict, the major real estate commission ruling, and what it means for California. You may have heard that there was a recent court ruling out of Missouri, and it's sending shockwaves through the real estate community right now. And its impact could reach all the way to California. Real estate information service company Housing Wire reported that a Kansas City jury found the National Association of Realtors, Home Services of America, and Keller Williams guilty of conspiring to inflate commission rates. The potential effects of this landmark decision are significant and far-reaching, and it's crucial for all of us in the Golden State to understand what this could mean for our market. The trial, which lasted 11 intense days in a Kansas City courtroom, saw the plaintiff challenge the status quo of real estate commissions. Alleging that NAR's rules and practices led to price fixing, the plaintiff argued that this resulted in artificially high commission rates, with buyer brokers being overpaid. Despite the ruling, the National Association of Realtors remains steadfast in its defense. NAR President Tracy Casper issued a statement affirming the organization's intentions to appeal the jury's decision. According to Casper, NAR's rules are designed to benefit consumers by fostering market-driven pricing and competitive business practices. The organization remains optimistic about prevailing in the appeal and is in the process of seeking a reduction in the damages awarded by the jury. During the trial, NAR argued that its cooperative compensation rules for local MLS broker marketplaces were crucial in creating efficient, transparent, and equitable marketplaces. These rules, NAR contended, allowed sellers to gain more from their property sales and provide more buyers with more options, and provided buyers with more options and affordable representation. As the real estate community in California digests this news, several questions arise. The implications of the appeal. While NAR gears up for an appeal, Californian real estate professionals are advised to maintain their current practices. Emphasis on transparency through buyer representation agreements remains critical. Negotiable commissions. The verdict brings to the forefront the importance of clearly communicating that commissions are negotiable and determined between brokers and their clients. The future of buyer representation. The ruling does not necessitate an immediate change in rules. However, it underscores the importance of buyer representation, especially for those who cannot afford it up front. Financial stability. NAR assures its capacity to handle the financial repercussions of the verdict and is prepared to see the appeal process through, and contends they will be confident in its eventual victory. Rule revisions. While steadfast in defending the consumer-centric nature of its rules, NAR is open to evolving them in response to the industry shifts and consumer preferences. Other litigations. NAR maintains that this verdict is an isolated case and does not influence other ongoing litigations. The organization is confident in its legal standing and is ready for future appeals. So, legal precedents and the potential for additional lawsuits. This verdict sets a powerful legal precedent that might encourage similar lawsuits here in California. Our state's vibrant real estate market often leads the nation in trends, and this ruling could put industry players under the microscope, potentially leading to more litigation and settlements. Rethinking commission structures. The way real estate commissions are structured might be due for a shakeup. If similar rules are applied here, buyers' agents' commission rates might not be predetermined or published in the MLS anymore. This could result in more negotiation between buyers and their agents over commissions, possibly leading to lower rates. However, increased cost for buyers? A flip side to this issue is that if a buyer has to start paying their agents directly, it could add to the already steep costs of buying a home in California. This might especially impact first-time buyers, making home purchasing less accessible. A step towards market transparency. On a more positive note, this ruling could foster greater transparency in our real estate market. Without fixed commission rates, we might see more competition among agents, potentially benefiting you with better service or lower rates. The impact on agents and brokers. Real estate agents and brokers might feel a pinch if commission rates drop. This could hit small brokerages or individual agents particularly hard, potentially affecting their profitability and operations. Regulatory reconsiderations. In light of the Missouri verdict, California's real estate industry regulatory bodies might revisit existing regulations. We could be looking at a comprehensive overhaul of the rules governing real estate transactions in our state. Changing consumer behavior and expectations. Knowledge is power, and as consumers like you, as you become more aware of the implications of this ruling, it could lead to more cautious and informed interactions with real estate professionals. Expectations for more competitive commission rates and transparency might arise. Innovation and new business models. Finally, this could be a catalyst for innovation within the industry. We might see new business models emerge that move away from traditional commission structures, like flat fee real estate services or other alternative approaches. So finally, what's next? While the immediate impact of the Missouri ruling on California's real estate market might not be instantly felt, the long-term implications could be transformative. As we await the final judgment and its repercussions, it's vital for everyone involved in our real estate market to stay informed and be prepared for the potential changes ahead. We are going to take a short break, And that's all I'm going to say about that. You are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we will be right back. Square feet. Welcome to the heart of Sacramento's coveted Natomas neighborhood. Welcome to 4424 Gibraltar Street. This two-story jewel, boasting a spacious 1,823 square feet, stands proud and newly rejuvenated. Fresh exterior paint glistens in the California sun. Step inside to a world of contemporary elegance. The sleek waterproof laminate flooring, freshly laid in 2022, guides you seamlessly through the downstairs space. The kitchen radiates luxury with pristine granite countertops. Retreat to the master suite where relaxation awaits. A lavish soaker tub promises evenings of deep tranquility. Situated on a premium corner lot and opposite the peaceful Quail Park, here privacy reigns supreme. The newly installed fence stands as a testament to both security and aesthetic grandeur. And for those warm Sacramento days, dive into luxury with not one, but two community pools. At 4424 Gibraltar Street, luxury, location, and lifestyle converge in perfect harmony.
Agent Key, yeah, selling Sacramento. She selling Sacramento. Agent Key, yeah, selling Sacramento. She selling Sacramento. Agent Key, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Agent Key, yeah, selling Sacramento. She selling Sacramento. Agent Key, selling Sacramento. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm pretty late.
I know.
Two, here we go.
Hey everyone, we're back. Well, welcome back to Selling Sacramento on 97.5 FM KDEE. We delved into the September housing stats for our county, and we unpacked some expert economic forecast. I even touched upon that landmark decision that I don't want to talk about anymore. Now we're going to pivot to perhaps the most crucial aspect of our discussion. How do you take all this information and apply it to your unique situation, especially during life's inevitable changes? Number one, understanding the local market. First things first, let's just talk about understanding the local market. The numbers we discussed earlier aren't just statistics, they are indicators of trends and market health. The Sacramento housing stats are specific to what's going on right here in Sacramento. You can take it as truth. A dip in sales or a slight increase in median prices can tell us a lot about demand and affordability in our region. But what does it mean for you? If you're looking to buy, these stats can be your best friend. A dip in sales might indicate that the market is cooling off, possibly giving you more bargaining power. So we just read that the stats for the month of September were going up a bit. In about 14 days, we'll get new stats and we'll see where the market is trending for the month of October, or what happened in the market during the month of October. We'll get that in 14 days for November. An increase in listing inventory means more options to choose from. So you get these stats, you compare them side by side. If September's inventory was at 800 and October's inventory is at 850, that means that it's possible that you're going to have more options to choose from. But if you're selling, these numbers can help you set realistic expectations for your property's value and how much time it may be on the market. Number 2, life's changes and real estate decisions. Now, let's consider life's changes. Marriage, divorce, job shifts, downsizing, relocating, or even upsizing for a growing family. Each of these are milestones that come with their own set of real estate needs. If you just got married, that might mean buying your first house together, while divorce could mean selling a property and buying a new one. A job loss or a new job might mean you relocate to a different city. It may mean you need to sell suddenly, or you may need to find a rental. Downsizing as empty nesters or upsizing for a growing family means evaluating what space means to you and how much of it you need or how much of it you can afford. Then there's personalized decision making. This is where personalized decision making comes into play. Take stock of your financial health, your lifestyle, and your long-term goals. The market data is your backdrop, but your personal narrative is the leading character. If the market is hot and you are downsizing, it may be the perfect time to sell. But if you're upsizing and the market is swamped with buyers, you'll want to practice patience and perhaps make sure that you have a little more financial leeway. Then there's professional guidance. When you're navigating these decisions, it's not always straightforward, which is why professional guidance is invaluable. A local real estate expert is going to help you interpret market trends in the context of your personal situation. A real estate professional will offer advice that's tailored not just to the market, but to your life chapter, whatever's going on with you personally, your financial goals, and even your emotional readiness to make a move. And when I say catering to your life chapter, you could have a home that you have inherited and need to sell, but there's work that needs to be done on the house, and it's not going to happen within the time frame you'd like it to happen. You may need assistance with how to mitigate that, how to make that happen, how to map that out so that you can successfully see getting that home sold in the long run. That is where professional guidance is invaluable. So, as we talk about real estate and how it equates to our life's big changes, I want us to understand that even though the market is trending in a very unusual fashion, and it can almost stifle us in a sense, those of us who need to sell will still need to sell. Those of us who need to buy will still need to buy. And guess what? You can still get her done. Sacramento, understanding the market is crucial, but understanding yourself and your situation is paramount. And as if you are dealing with life's big changes, let the local market inform you. But again, it's your personal goals and your personal circumstances that guide you. And that's how you make the most informed and personalized decisions in your real estate journey. I'm just finishing overseeing 2 transactions that actually closed a month and a half ago on both of them around the same time. And both of them were transactions that had clients dealing with life's big changes. I think I've shared with you before, one of them, my seller, he lost his wife at the beginning of the year. and he did not want to stay in the home any longer. They had lived there for almost 40 years. The home did not have any recent updates, and it had some deferred maintenance that ran in the thousands of dollars. Found a buyer for the home. I ended up representing the buyer as well. And I believe she texted me earlier today and said she's moving in November 7th because we just finished overseeing an entire remodel project on the home for her. So not only did I manage the transaction with my seller initially from the beginning, helping him get the home ready, which took about not very long. He was really adamant about getting it on the market really quickly. Less than a month, we had it on the market. But then also mitigating with my buyer on the house to make sure she was comfortable in moving in, because this is going to be one of the final homes for her. And so making it very comfortable for her and overseeing the work and making sure things get done on time. So again, if you are a buyer or a seller or someone who is transitioning with where you're living, and you're looking at a situation like that, you might look at that as very daunting. Like, how on earth will I ever make that happen? And you don't do this every day. This is not your job. So it's really important that you find real estate professionals who it is their job. This is what they do. And I do have to say that not every real estate agent excels at these types of services. So you really want to make sure that you are doing your homework, doing your due diligence when you get referrals and recommendations to agents as you're looking to navigate through these types of waters. These are a little bit more tricky than let me get pre-qualified, let me go and buy a house. And really, truth be told, even in that situation, you want to have an agent representing you who has a very good process and system in place on how they represent you, so that you feel that you are served and that you can go back to them if you need to, that they are always there. I'm kind of cheerleading for all top real estate agents. There are some really good agents out there. And I guess I'm bringing this up as we're talking about the commission structure issue and how that's going to go down. The only thing that I do want to say about that is that whatever you do, wherever you serve, whether it's in real estate or whatever it is that you do for anyone, you deserve to be paid. And if you do it well, you deserve to be paid well. And if you do it with excellence, you deserve to be paid even more. Because as the old saying goes, you get what you pay for. So that is just about my time. I'm not going to dive into anything else. I hope that this show has enlightened you on the critical interplay between life's changes, local market data, and your real estate journey. Remember that whether you are facing a new chapter or you're seeking to navigate this market's tides, its ebbs and flows, information and expert guidance will be what anchors you. So I hope you'll join us again next week. Oh, with that being said, I'm leaving in a couple of days to go to the Small Developers Conference in Georgia. So y'all pray for me for my flight, pray for my return. I will be returning Wednesday morning, and I will be right back here. My plane gets here at 11. I'll be on this microphone at 1 o'clock. So if you've been watching online, the conversation doesn't end. Continue to share your thoughts. Hey, Miss Nikki. Hello. My mom is watching today, y'all. She's online. Great information. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of our online listeners. And thank you for our radio listeners. It just occurred to me that there are a lot of y'all out there. I think I mentioned last week when I went to the Business Economic Summit, so many people came up to me telling me that they listened to the show. And I'm just so honored that you would take an hour out of your day on Wednesdays to tune in to Selling Sacramento. So thank you. Remember that Selling Sacramento is brought to you every Wednesday by Matthews and Company Realty Group. Make money and save time. Sell your home fast with me, Agent Key, the voice you know and trust when it comes to selling in Sacramento. Get started today at my site at agentkey.com. Until next time, strength, wellness, and love. And remember, if you are doing what you were created to do, I will see you at the top. Bye, you guys.
I'm putting it in this 60 wheel with you last time.